Hi there everyone, it is currently the 27th of November 2011. Rob here with WesternPacificWeather.com. We're going to get on your Eastern Asia and Western Pacific weather update here in just a moment, but first I want to talk about this tropical cyclone in the Indian Ocean here, moving off towards the northwest. Still a weak tropical cyclone, actually winds about 35, gusting up to 45 knots, being rated by JTWC, or the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. India is also warning on this system, calling it a tropical cyclone as well, or really just kind of a weak tropical depression. They're really kind of warning on this. Still seeing some rain coming in from the southwest towards the northeast here over Sri Lanka and parts of India, but overall this system has encountered a high amount of vertical wind shear here off towards the north, and that's why you see most of the convection on the western periphery of it right now. And if we take a quick look at the wind shear analysis right now, it is sitting under about 20 knots of wind shear indicated here just along the northern periphery, but just off towards the east you see about that 5 to 10 knots of shear. Well, that's allowing for that convection to form up, just allowing down towards the south right now, but as that continues to track off towards the northwest here, nearing the coast of Oman and eventually recurving towards Pakistan, it's going to be encountering much higher vertical wind shear, and that's going to rapidly weaken it. Still going to bring some rainfall out across those regions, but that will be the main threat as it continues to move off towards the northwest here. Now, it is running along the southwestern periphery of an area of high pressure located over India, and on this upper level winds analysis here, you can see this high. Actually, you see this little anticyclonic circulation right in here, this clockwise circulation of the winds. Well, that's that high pressure and that upper level high throughout this region. And really the storm's going to want to track off towards the northwest along the western periphery of that. And as it hits these upper level winds right in here, see these winds upwards of 70 knots in some of these areas here, and that's also that wind shear we're talking about. It's going to turn quickly and rapidly off towards the northeast, heading off towards Pakistan. That's going to weaken it, but also speed it up as it encounters those winds. So with that said, for today, you're still going to be seeing some heavy rainfall along the the western portions of India here. Also, definitely not a beach going day out there. You're going to be seeing some high rip currents still tomorrow as the system moves away, and also still some heavy rainfall as some of the outflow continues to pump in out of the intertropical convergence zone here towards the south. But as the storm continues to move off towards the northwest, that high pressure will settle in just towards the south, really suppress any convective activity. So by Tuesday and then into Wednesday, really going to start seeing fairer weather across India here. But on that note, as the system continues to track off towards the northwest here, it will eventually recurve and head off towards Pakistan there. Even some rainfall could be seen along the eastern coast of Oman here, but really Pakistan's going to be seeing the heaviest portions of those rainfalls. But good news, the high amount of vertical wind shear and definitely a lot of dry air getting wrapped into this system by this time is really going to suppress any significant development further out of this. We do know that Pakistan really can't handle heavy rains out there. Remember the floods last year across much of this region. Well, these rains will not be nearly to that degree, but definitely will be short bursts of heavy thunderstorms. I don't think it will last for long periods of time, so as that continues to rapidly move off towards the north here. And here actually is a look at the total water vapor in the atmosphere, the precipitable water at least. And just noting off here towards the north, see all these areas here in blue and actually these light greens? Well, that's just indicating dry air. So as this cyclone continues to push off towards the northwest, it's really going to run into that dry air and cause it to rapidly weaken, as well as it takes away a lot of that latent energy within the system. But for now, though, it continues to get that moisture pumped in from the south. You can kind of see it on here on this imagery. But overall, though, that big blue area up here towards the north definitely going to have a strong effect on this. And actually, while we have this up here, continuing to see this moisture flow in from the east towards the west across Malaysia and Thailand here, specifically southern Thailand and most of Malaysia and parts of Indonesia here, still seeing heavy rainfall out across that region. And actually, if we go back to the satellite imagery showing the water vapor here, you still see a lot of these convective clouds actually along southern parts of Malaysia here, and all that moisture continues to stream in from the northeast, pushing southwest with that northeast monsoon. So still seeing heavy rainfall out across this region, but even where this moisture is coming from, actually back off towards northeast here and along eastern Asia and the western Pacific, we have a developing low, a fairly large low actually, that is bringing some precipitation here along portions of the Ryukyu Islands and even up towards Kyushu now. But by tomorrow evening, actually expecting this rain to continue to work its way up here towards the Tokyo and Kanto Plain region as that low continues to develop and moves off towards the northeast here. But it still is developing. But it's actually on the satellite imagery is what we call a baroclinic leaf in meteorological terms here. You see kind of this S shape right in here. You see it dive in, then move back out, and then go back in off here towards the east. Well, that's actually just a formation here and really a developing low, a warm front and a cold front just starting with the system. So it does look like it does have some potential here for energy as it continues to move off towards the northeast here. And already on radar, you're actually seeing some thunderstorms pop up here just south of Okinawa, indicated by some of these reds just west of Okinawa right now, and towards the south, you're seeing some of these yellows and greens. Well, those are actually indicating upwards of 80 millimeters of rain per hour just off there towards the west. So definitely some heavy rainfall. You will see some strikes of lightning within these as well. And even off towards the north here, where that warm front's starting to pop up here, you're seeing some heavy banding moving onshore along northern Honshu. And way off here towards the north, potential for some snow as that cold air continues to push across the Shima Current. So a lot of weather going on up and down from Taiwan up towards the northern portions of Japan today. And even off towards Korea here, just off this radar imagery, but you're seeing some rains over there as well today. So with that said, we're going to go to our newest segment here. We've been doing this daily, just looking at the highs or the lows temperatures around Eastern Asia here, and all of Asia actually. This is brought to you by weather4u.com. They produce this here, and definitely still seeing these warm temperatures down here towards India. So even though with that system moving off towards the west, you're still going to be seeing those tropical temperatures up in the low 30s to high 20s. And also with this low developing here over Taiwan, you're still going to be seeing some warm air pump in from the south over the Philippines, and that's going to continue to cause that tropical activity. But over much of China, continuing to see the highs settle down here towards the west as the Siberian high continues to push in, causing that northeast monsoon. But really, look at this, some of these places up here along actually Shanghai seeing about 13, and off towards the west here seeing about a high of 6. So really cold temperatures associated with that Siberian high off there towards the northwest. But let's look at the weather outlook here extending out through the week. We see this developing low over the Luzon Strait. As noted yesterday, we were talking about this developing and pushing off here towards the northeast, bringing some rainfall there towards Japan. We do have another low pushing across Korea by Wednesday and then into Thursday. But as that low continues to move off towards the east here, look at this starting to set up. That high is going to push down towards the south, really sit there, and you're going to be seeing a trough of low pressure start to linger here across much of Japan here, extending out towards Taiwan, and that's even going to feed moisture in from the south over the Philippines. So by midweek into this next weekend, I do expect rainfall really throughout much of the region here in the western Pacific, basically due to this long elongated area of low pressure. And definitely actually on Saturday and the Sunday expecting heavy rainfall with the chance of some pretty heavy thunderstorms as well across much of Japan. But that is all for right now, everybody. Long update today, so thank you very much for listening through this entire episode today. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, as always, please post them in the comment box below, and stay safe out there, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.